All right, let's talk about an animal you've definitely seen, probably shuffling around in the dark, the opossum. But here's the thing, how well do you really know the opossum? I'm willing to bet there's a lot more to this story than you think. So, let's start with what we all know. When someone in, say, the United States or Canada says opossum, chances are they're picturing just one particular guy. And that would be the Virginia opossum. Its scientific name is Didelphis virginiana. Yeah, this is the one we see everywhere, from Canada all the way down to Mexico. But what's really wild is that it's the only marsupial north of Mexico. That's right, our one native animal with a pouch. Pretty cool, right?
But is that the whole picture? Is it really just this one lonely marsupial on the whole continent?
Oh no, this is where things get way more interesting. See, the Virginia opossum isn't some lone wolf. It's actually part of a massive, and I mean massive, family tree with relatives you've probably never even heard of. Just how massive are we talking? Get ready for this number. There are 92 different species of opossum alive today. Yeah, the one you see in your backyard, that's just the tiniest tip of a very, very big iceberg. They all belong to a scientific order called Didelphimorphia. And here's the catch. While we know our one local guy, the real party is happening in South and Central America. That's where almost all of these different species live. So if you look at the whole family, Didelphilidae, it's pretty clear who runs the show. You've got this one huge subfamily, the Didelphinae, with a whopping 86 species. But then you have these other, much smaller branches. Look, the Calorumianae has just 4 species, and then you have 2 subfamilies that are so unique they each only have a single species. It's a really intricate family tree. Okay, so enough with the charts. Let's actually meet some of these incredible relatives. We're going to do a lightning round of the Opossum All-Stars, and you'll see just how unbelievably diverse this family truly is. First up, let's talk size. The difference is just mind-blowing. You have the Kalinowski's mouse opossum, which is barely 2 inches long. I mean, think about that. It could hide behind your driver's license. And then, all the way at the other end of the spectrum, you have our big old Virginia opossum, which can get up to almost 2 feet. It's just incredible. And it's not just size, it's where they live. Get this, there's a water opossum, which is basically an aquatic ninja, hunting fish and crabs in streams. And then you've got the Patagonian opossum, which is a total survivor, toughing it out in the dry, windswept grasslands and deserts. From rivers to deserts, they figured out how to make a living just about anywhere.
Honestly, you can tell how diverse they are just from their names. You've got the bushy-tailed opossum, okay, makes sense. The fat-tailed mouse opossums, love that. Then there are woolly opossums and, my personal favorite, the brown four-eyed opossums. Don't worry, they don't actually have 4 eyes, just these cool light spots that look like a second pair. It's like a whole lineup of amazing characters.
All right, that was a fun trip around the family tree. But let's bring it back home, back to the Virginia opossum. Because this animal, this common backyard visitor, has a secret identity. It's kind of a superhero, and I'm not even kidding. Check out this quote from the Virginia Outdoors Foundation. They call it a ferocious tick eater. Ferocious. We think of them as slow, harmless scavengers, but when it comes to ticks, they are absolute warriors. And this isn't just talk. There are numbers to prove it. Opossums are constantly grooming themselves, and if a tick is stupid enough to latch on, it's game over. It gets found, and it gets eaten. Research shows that something like 90% of ticks that try to make a meal out of an opossum become the meal. That is some next-level, all-natural pest control. And they don't stop at ticks. They're like the perfect, quiet little cleanup crew. They'll take care of garden pests like slugs and snails. They'll clean up dead animals. They even eat all the mushy, overripe fruit that falls from your trees. They are, without a doubt, nature's sanitation department. So, let's recap. We have this huge, fascinating family of animals, and even the one we see all the time is doing all this incredible work for the ecosystem. But, and this is a big but, the whole family is in trouble. This chart really puts it into perspective. It shows the status of all 93 species. Now, at first glance, you might think, okay, most of them are least concern. That's good. But look closer. You've got 11 species that are at risk. We're talking vulnerable or even critically endangered. And then there's that other slice that really worries scientists, the one labeled data deficient. And this isn't some hypothetical threat. It's already happened. Meet the red-bellied gracile opossum. It used to live in the forests of Argentina. The last confirmed sighting was way back in 1962. It's now officially extinct,
Gone. A permanent reminder of what can happen.
So, let's go back to that data deficient category. That label is attached to 14 different species. What does that mean? It means we know next to nothing about them. We don't know how many are left, exactly where they live, or what dangers they're facing. They're complete enigmas.
And that brings us to the big, lingering question. The next time you see an opossum in your headlights, remember its story. Remember it's just the ambassador for a family of 92 incredible species. And think about its cousins, the ones on the brink, and especially those 14 mystery species. It really makes you wonder, what are we losing before we even know it exists?